Yo, 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 what is up, YouTube? Playing some Chernobog today for the A through Z series, and I'm actually happy that we got an ADC matchup, because this kind of proves exactly what I was just going to talk about. I didn't play a bunch of games or anything to try to get against the ADC so I could talk about this, but, what's it called? Let me buy my items here. Boom, boom, boom. Gooseberries. Anyways, I was going to talk about how, I think Chernobog is honestly, this isn't just YouTube clickbait, this is my honest opinion. I think Chernobog is probably the most underrated hunter in Duel. And so let me explain some things, because things like undervalued, underrated, you know, whatever, like terms like that seem to get overused and people don't understand it. And I'm not pretending like I know the exact definition. I'm just giving you guys the idea of what I think it means, right? And so when I say undervalued or underrated rather, I don't mean that Chernobog's the best hunter, and I don't mean that he's completely broken. I simply just mean that if you compare how much this god gets picked to how good they are, you'll notice that they've been done unjustly, like meaning like they're a lot better than their pick rate. Chernobog gets picked like once in every 3,000 games, and he's actually a pretty good character. I think he might actually be the best hunter in the game, like as far as like for the fact that he doesn't get picked, you know what I mean? Like all the other hunters get picked a fair amount, I would say. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Not all of the hunters get picked. Like Cerninos, for example, the one I'm against right now, he should be getting played more than he is. I made a video about that. Typically, you don't want to stand that close to a Cerninos because his passive makes him do more auto attack damage, but I kind of thought he was going to run away there, but he did not. His wave clear is a little bit more awkward than mine because he has to dash the wave. What if I dashed? Picked up aggro? Okay, that was like either the dumbest or greatest play I've ever made. I don't even know. He probably could have punished me a little bit, but... Anyways, Chernobog's been buffed a couple times, been nerfed a couple times. Changed, to say the least. Ah, shoot. Oh, I think the only reason I won that other fight, by the way, was because he didn't pop his wing shard and I did. But I'm not a Chernobog expert. I am trying to get better with him as we speak, so I may not land every combo, but... Oh. Anyways, as you can see, I'm playing this very badly, like very badly, and I'm still able to outbox him. Granted, he's playing poorly as well, but the point is you don't have to, it's not like, oh, he's a bad god, so you have to play perfectly to win. You don't have to play perfectly to win with Chernobog, because he's not a bad god. That's my entire point. So, like, let me revise my statement earlier, because that was a little poorly said, I think. I don't think Chernobog's the best hunter in the game. I just can't, I don't know how to word this. I just can't stress enough that this god never gets picked. I see him once a year, literally. He never gets picked, and he's actually good. Like, I don't know how else to word that. Like, he's just underrated, simply put. Like, he should be played more. At least by the people that, you know, like the melee mains can keep playing their melees and stuff, right? Whatever. The mages can keep playing their melees. I'm saying, like, for the hunter players. The hunter players out there, like, especially when you face me, for example. When you face me, I ban a lot of the top hunters, like 4 of them at least, right? So when you face me, as a hunter player, a lot of the hunter players probably just go and play a mage or something instead, when they could just pull out the Cerninos, like this guy did. Probably the top ADC after bans, like after my bans. Probably the top ADC, but Cerninos gets played a decent little chunk, you know? Nothing, no crazy amount or anything, but Cerninos does get played more than Chernobog. And I would say they're about the same, honestly. Cerninos is better than Chernobog, but not by like a mile. It's not like one of those situations where he's just like twice the character or anything like we're used to in Duel. You know, you compare Hebo to Chang'e, like 2 characters that are, both of those are poke mages, you know, with low cooldowns, right? But Hebo's just literally 10 times better than Chang'e, so that's what I mean. But yeah, man, Chernobog got changed a little bit. He no longer has a dash on his 3, he no longer has a slow on his dash, sorry. He has the slow on his 1. It actually just got nerfed by 5%, but no biggie. And so now his combo, and they made his combo faster and have a slow on it. So it's definitely easier to land. Now, if you're a noob like me, you still miss it, but I think I'll ult his ult probably if he does ult me. Actually, yeah, I'll ult it. Alright. A little bit of a greedy play here by me, but I mean, to be fair, this guy's not really fighting me much. And I feel like, you know, based on the game so far, I feel like I'm in a pretty good position to be a little bit cocky. So, only a little bit though. We can't do anything crazy. Just a little bit of pizzazz going on here. I don't think he'll let me get that combo on him very often like that, because I mean, there's no reason for me to be able to combo him. I mean, he has a dash that's fast enough, right? So I wonder if I just gave up red by doing that. I don't know if I'll make it back in time. I kind of thought my ult was up, but I just used my ult, so you know. Also, sorry for like, I don't know, I feel like I've been rambling this video, man. I feel like I'm not doing a very good job with my speakage, my language, my English. Hopefully we can clean it up for the rest of this game here. I don't know, I was just having such a hard time explaining, like, because I don't want it to sound like something I'm making up for views or something, right? Like, I'm being as genuine as I possibly can. Like, Chernobog is good. He really is good. Genuinely, he is good. He does a ton of damage. He's very safe. Has a lot of outplay potential with his ultimate. And at the end of the day, he is a hunter. And even the worst hunter in the entire game is a pretty decent duel character. And he's, not to say Chernobog's the worst, because he's not, but... Dang, unlucky. I tried to kill him with the dash there. Oh, I got body blocked. I kind of thought my one would hit him there, because I know Chernobog 1, interesting fact, by the way, if you didn't know. Chernobog 1 is actually, it acts like a basic attack, so it can crit, first of all, but that's a little bit more known. What I was going to say is it has a 65 range, and auto attack range is 55, if you didn't know. So Chernobog 1 actually goes further than an auto attack, and that can be the difference of, like, you know, whether you get a kill, like in that situation right there. I don't know if it goes through walls or not, honestly. Like, I don't know if it goes through towers. But I do know that it's a longer range, so even if you're chasing someone and you're not in auto attack range, you know, throw the tube, and it should be able to hit them. I mean, I don't know if it works like that, like if you're moving though, because if you're moving and it's a projectile and you're moving, so it might not, you know, be the same. But it definitely is longer than auto attack, I will say. It's a pretty fast projectile too, I'd say. Like, look at this damage, man. Chernobog pumps. He doesn't have defense yet, but, and I have a red buff, but. I'm gonna wait for my minions to come in here. Dash in. Yep, there you go. For those of you who didn't know, and I'm explaining this, also, to be honest with you guys, I'm not really a big Chernobog fan, or at least I wasn't in the past. Because I didn't really like his 1-2 combo, but they did make it a little bit easier and a little bit more fluid, less inconsistent, so we like that. But anyways, I'm mostly just also talking about, I hated Chernobog for the longest time, and so I didn't know some of this stuff until recently. Some of it I did, some of it I didn't. So that's why I'm explaining it to you guys, in case you guys didn't know, because you guys might have found him to be a boring character as well. Or whatever. Chernobog ult, actually, when he lands, he gets mitigations, right? Damage mitigations. It's only 10% at the beginning of the game. It scales up to 20, so it's nothing crazy, but 20% mitigation late game can, I mean, 10% early isn't that crazy. 20% late, it's pretty darn good, man. That can be the difference of whether you win or lose the fight. But what I was getting at is he actually resets his cooldowns. So you can pop all of your CDs, you know, your 1, 2, 3, and then ult, and then come back down. You can't cancel the ult. If you right click the ult, then you don't get your cooldowns back. You actually have to fly to one of the clones. And if you do fly to one of the clones, then you get your cooldowns reset, and one of those cooldowns is your dash, right? So you can actually double dash. Kind of like a ROM can, where, like, you know, if he dashes, waits a couple seconds, ults, when he lands on the ground, he has another dash, right? It's kind of like that. And you can definitely... Oh. Dude, he's just missing every auto. Not that he could kill me there. He definitely couldn't, but... And also, as much as I want to make fun of him for missing all of his autos, I mean, I keep missing my one, right? So, also, we did end up buying a power potion. I don't know if you guys noticed, but we're trying to pressure our lead as much as possible. And I just do this in most of my games, to be honest with you. But if you're one of those people that's a little bit more like scared of buying power potions, what I will say is Chernobog is a safe character. He's a pretty safe character, pretty good at getting out of sticky situations. So he is a safer god to invest the power potion into. This might be one of those I ult him situations. Oh, I didn't even proc my thing, but he wasn't even in it. So let's see if we can force him to dash and then we ult after him. That would be ideal. We should have his roots. Oh, we did hit the slow there. Okay, well, yeah. I think I'm just gonna make this a 2-parter, maybe a 3-parter, maybe a 4-parter. I don't know. I'm kind of having fun with Chernobog today, so we'll see how long this video ends up being, and we'll see if we get any competitive games, and if we, we'll see if we lose, honestly. I don't know. This might just be a play till we lose kind of video. It's a little bit weird. Why am I doing this? Because first of all, I'm gonna skip. I'm not gonna put you guys through this entire queue, but I just want to say this really quickly. Why am I doing this? Because one, I'm having fun playing Chernobog, so why not? Two, I'm trying to prove my point that he is a solid hunter that should be getting picked. Don't know how I get paired against you, dude. I could go against Masters players. I could go against Bronze players. Like that's just the way the mode works, man. Anyways, I'm gonna send you guys into the next game. Thank you guys so much for watching. Alright, here we are, on to the second game. We're against Dr. Klurs here. Same start, always the same start, man. Oh, I don't even know if I finished my my thought earlier about, like, do you guys like the fact that we're, like, forced to build this item every game? Like, it's like, I see it two ways. It's like, one, if you're an ADC player, yeah, it's nice to have because it's a really strong item. But also, on the other side of that, and I think that's where most people probably go, but like on the other side of that, it's like, well, there pretty much is no diversity, right? But like, what other diversity am I looking for, right? Like, if it wasn't Gleaming Ear Cuff start, it's just going to be like Transcendence / Dominance. Like, that's the same start every game. Or Devourer's Gauntlet, probably, right? I mean, it wouldn't be like that diverse if this was gone, I guess. So I don't really know what I'm looking for, but this feels weird that you're basically forced, not actually, basically forced to go the same starter every single game. Sometimes I find myself calling these like starters because there is no starters in Duel, right? So, I mean, technically these are the starter items. Like a tier 2 item that you start every game is your starter item, right? Like that's pretty much why I say that. Let's AoE these little guys down with our passive. Such a good passive, man. Such a hard-hitting, wonderful passive. I think he kind of needs it though, because Chernobog does no damage if you miss the one, you know? Now, like, if you don't hit the 1-2 combo, then Chernobog has like no damage in his kit whatsoever, so he kind of needs that that passive to do some fair damage for him. Might just go on him. That went way worse than I wanted it to. Definitely overestimated my burst a little bit. Fighting Anubis early is always a bit sketchy, to be honest with you, but I think we can do this without him invading it. Keyword being think. Alright, we're getting it. Maybe he ults over the wall, that'd be pretty funny. He does not. Oof, the brute minion isn't tanking, that's unlucky. Oh, a classic Anubis moment right there, ladies and gentlemen. The classic Anubis moment into the classic Chernobog moment. And he's gonna miss the entire wave. I could hit the tower with the dual orb, but that would kind of defeat the purpose of, you know, him missing the whole wave. Like, I kind of want him to miss that wave, and if I disable the tower. I think that's what a lot of people actually, I mean, I don't know, because I don't see it, right? But I would wager that a lot of people probably fall into that trap where they like focus the tower way too early, or even just like in a situation like that, they disable it and their opponent gets all of the farm that they should have missed, you know? Definitely like a noob trap for sure. You don't want to disable the tower too early. At least if there's, you know, if there's no farm to be had and there's no minions to zone him from, then you just want to poke, you know, all right, go for it. But usually there's a better option. Oh. Doing some big damage, man. Chernobog goes crazy. He goes insane. He does have a full bankroll, so we don't want to underestimate that. Also, he's stacking his bow now, so anytime I let him get player damage on me, he's stacking up a bit, which isn't the biggest deal ever, but I want to at least try to make sure it's worth it if I do trade with him. Easier said than done sometimes. I'm also stacking my gooseberries, but... And we missed everything. Go into this wall here. Wow. Wow, dude, Anubis is a crazy character early game. That is absolutely insane. I probably should have expected that, though, to be honest. Like, I feel like, and I talk about this on my stream all the time, but I don't know how much I've talked to you guys about it on YouTube. But I feel like I have grown so much as a player over the years. Like, I've played Duel, like, pretty consistently for a few years now, right? And I feel like I have grown so much as a player, and I've gotten so much better, and I don't do a lot of the stuff I used to do. But one thing that's never changed is not respecting Anubis damage early game and just running at him and dying and then going, oh my god, wow, Anubis does so much damage early game. Every single time, man. Sometimes it's closer than others, but every time I go against Anubis, I always lose early game and feed my brains out and then win late game. It just always happens. And honestly, I'm wondering if I'm ever gonna like grow out of that. Like, it's not the biggest deal because I usually win against the Anubises. Like, it's not a huge deal, but like it is kind of annoying that I almost always try to fight them early and I almost always get owned. And then I almost always say the same thing. Wow, Anubis is so OP early. But we're already at the stage of the game, thankfully. Okay. We're already at the stage of the game, though, where I can start winning again already. Because the main thing is against Anubis is just getting the Pestilence online. I could fight him here, but I don't really want to. I don't want to miss any more farm, considering we already gave him that red buff and we gave him a kill, so I don't want to miss any more farm. What should we do here? I guess we just do what we would normally do, which would be Aussie, second item. Normally, I almost always go Aussie second item. One of the main exceptions to that is Anubis, for obvious reasons. You know, Pestilence is just so good because he does way too much damage, honestly. With his normal combo even, he just does too much damage. But also because he relies on his lifesteal very heavily, right? So the Pestilence is just way too good not to get online as soon as possible. Dude, my accuracy there was pretty darn good. I mean, granted, Anubis is a really slow character, and his jukes weren't the best, but still, I'm gonna give myself some props there. My accuracy was pretty good. What do we do? What are we doing here? There's like nothing to do on the map. I mean, I guess Red's about to spawn. Oh! He must be a stream sniper, dude. How else did he know I'm there? Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not streaming right now, I'm recording. But like, yep, if that isn't proof that he's a stream sniper, I don't know what is. It's obvious. Dude, he's probably just as freaked out as I was. He's like, what are you doing there, bro? So he ulted that. Interesting. Very interesting. No, your ult's down, big dog. That's usually what ulting means, typically. I can always back an ult in, but I kind of would love to get an Aussie online before I do that. Like, I would absolutely just love that. Alright, hopefully we're not too late. We're not going to beats that. Gonna just thorns this. Sit on top of him. He does have a red buff. Looks like I beads nothing. Typical. Typical me, beadsing absolutely nothing. To be fair though, I didn't really need to beads there correctly, but I could have saved it for the next time when he has ults. But I didn't save it because I'm a noob and I'm scared. I just know that I can win this pretty easily late game. I can win it pretty easily now too. It's just I'm more confident in the late game. So I'm just really worried about these early game kills and trying to get as much farm as possible. So we can get my items online faster and get to that stage of the game where I know I can destroy him. Alright, so I don't know. Should I be leveling my 3 or my ult? The 3 doesn't do much damage. It hits twice, but the 3 doesn't do much damage, but it does go down and cooldown. And the ult, it's just slows and damage mitigation. And the damage mitigation is a very good stat, but like going up by like 2.5%, I don't know. I think we just leveled the dash here. That didn't do as much damage as I kind of expected it to be honest. I mean, I guess it was just his one, but Anubis one, like a lot of people max the one these days, and it does a ton of damage, so. What is he doing over there? I mean, I'll fight him if it really comes down to it, but... Yeah, never mind. I was gonna say I'll fight him if it really comes down to it, but oh, he's getting the Chester. But I don't actually want to fight right now. I'm at a kind of like a weird spot in my build, like where I have no relics up, and I'm in a weird spot in my build where I don't have my crit, but I almost have it. So I feel like I'd rather just wait for my crit, wait for my relics, wait for my crit, just wait in general. Although this red buff is spawning, I could potentially back and ult in. But then I don't have my ult for like in the middle of the fight though. So what's more beneficial here? Having my ult up or having crit? It might actually be pretty similar in value. Yeah, I figured. I took a risk there, don't get me wrong. Like, that was definitely a gamble, but I kind of just assumed he was playing so safe. He's playing so safe that I could just burn that red buff before he even gets back there. And it worked out. There is also another world where that doesn't work, but hey, I mean, this time it did work, so call it a day. We're going to buy a power potion with our crit, obviously just to make my crits hit even harder and to snowball this lead even harder. Now we're at a really good spot in our build, and our relics are back up, and we have a red buff. I mean, is he going to come contest the Bull Demon? Maybe not. Also, one thing I don't do enough on Chernobog that I need to practice, I know, is I don't, like, double dash enough. You know, like, dash into the wall at max range and then dash again kind of thing. I do it sometimes, but, like this. I don't do that enough, which I should be doing more often, I would say. Just go ahead and get this farm real quick, so that way if he does kill me, he has a little bit less farm on the map for him to steal, right? Also, just farm is nice. Where is he? On his blue buff, perhaps? Nope. He already got the blue buff. Yeah, there's just never a world where you win that, little guy. I mean, I have Pestilence, I have Thorns, I have Crit, Power Pot, Red Buff. You know, you're just not going to win that. I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, wasn't that worried about the early death because this is pretty much how my Anubis games always go. I get stomped early, sometimes I die maybe one more time than that, and then we just win. Like, we get stomped until we don't, and then we just win. Gonna queue up again. I'll put you guys in the next game. Thank you guys for watching. Alright guys, here we are into the third game or fourth game or whatever this is. at this point. We're against Chris T. Dixon. Let's go. Yeah, a GM player, playing cuckoo, but you know, a GM player nonetheless. So maybe this one will be a little bit more spicy. Same star as always. Typical ADCs. Am I right? Same star. Honestly, if you played ADCs, oh never mind. I was gonna say you should just make a build and have this start on there, but I guess it's literally already there. And you just need to add your recipe to it, right? So, I think if we just go Aegis, he has no kill potential anymore, basically. Like, I feel like the only way I can die to him is if I get hit by the ult, and I can't Aegis it, right? So, we'll just get the Aegis, be safe. Do we have enough time to go wave at him? I don't think we do. I usually go up and wave against Chris, but...
Minions have spawned.
Just burst this thing as much as we can. Make sure we hit the middle one, because the small should die to the passive. Actually did hit the small right there. Oops. I don't know if double wanting that is like a strat. He is in a bit of a weird spot here. Okay, I'm just being baited around the map. Typical cuckoo. He's poking me pretty hard, but he's also going But he does have a blue buff, so is really a thing? Is going a thing when you have a blue buff? I don't know why I just went all British or English or whatever that is, but I guess because I'm against the cuckoo, huh? OP accent, man. And yes, I know, by the way, I do a terrible accent. I'm aware, okay? You don't have to make fun of me. I know. But me doing a bad accent isn't gonna stop me from doing accents. It's just programmed in my brain. I actually don't do it that much on YouTube, but I do it all the time on stream. In fact, somebody said just the other day, and I thought it was funny. Somebody said, what's with all the accents today? You know, like, did you recently watch like a show with British people or something? And I was just like, what do you mean today? Like, I don't always do this. I'm always doing this, man. I wonder what he's going to be leveling this game. Like, I wonder how many points he's going to put in the tornado. Because some people only level the tornado up about as much as they need to clear the wave, and then they level the 1 for poke. I didn't need to Aegis that, but why not? Why not, man? Alright, ooh, that was a little stressful. I didn't want to die to the tower there, man, ooh. It's only stressful because I'm not like the best ADC player in the world. ADC is like, it's not my least played class by any means. I used to play Hunters a fair amount back in the day, but yeah, these days if you checked my stats for the past like 2 years, maybe even 3 years, yeah, I do not be playing Hunters very much. It's probably my least played class actually, so yeah, I definitely get a little bit nervous when it comes down to choking autos like that. He's gonna just full send this buff.
Yeah.
I think I do just... Oh, I'm dead. Unlucky. Unlucky. That was a bit of a sticky situation. I walked into the whirlwind too much. Dude, also Zephyr did a lot of damage too. It probably hit me like 2 or 3 times. I don't know. This matchup's so weird because we're both playing gods that are super like underrated. I definitely think Chernobog's way more underrated than Kukulkan. Kukulkan has his flaws and that's just obvious, you know, but at the end of the day, they are still underrated gods. Kukulkan's not like terrible in Duel. Not great, but not terrible. He killed me without even ulting me, man. What a savage. I guess I did kind of do that to myself, though. Like, is that really like a cuckoo owning me, or is that me owning myself? I mean, I walked into the tornado twice, right? I think even 3 times, maybe. I'm not sure. But I definitely forced an awkward fight, for sure. An awkward fight. And I was hitting the red buff with my wing shard, which was kind of bad, too, so... I think we can pick this up pretty safely without being concerned about the red buff too much. Is he pushed up right now? The problem is he has slow immunity on his 2. So he can get out of my combo pretty... That was a fancy little try right there. See, like, Chris is so weird, man, and he would say this too, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not just bashing him behind his back. He would say the same thing. It's like sometimes it seems like he's like, you know, landing all of his stuff and goes pretty hard, and then other times it's just like, dude, are you drunk? You know? Like, it's like sometimes I see the thought process and sometimes I don't. But to be honest, I guess you could say that about a lot of Smite players, myself included, so... Like, why did I just walk into a cuckoo tornado like 3 times, you know? Like, sometimes it's hard to play consistently. It can be difficult, one might say. But to be fair though, in Smite Duel, you don't have to play consistently. Like, yeah, of course you want to play super well all the time if you, like, want to go undefeated, you know? But, like, realistically, you can feed kills. I mean, look at my last video. I'm not going to spoil it too much in case you haven't seen it, but if you haven't seen my Charybdis video, then you should watch it, and you'll see exactly what I mean. Ooh, there's his Zephyr down. That hits me. That hits me. I mean, I don't know what I'm complaining about. I guess that makes sense. It was on the ground as I'm coming out, so... Duh, it hits me. The Zephyr poke is just unreal, man. Well, he's gonna miss at least 1 minion. He ulted the buff. Typical dueler. Typical dueler, ulting the buff, and then thinking that the tornadoes are gonna solo me again. I have lifesteal this time, and also I have a little bit of defense, so... that situation is not nearly as hard for me. I also played it a lot better, to be fair, but even if I didn't, I'm in a much better spot for that situation, so... Is he gonna lose his red buff? I mean, his blue buff? After committing so much to getting the red buff, you'd think he would think the buffs are important. Is he gonna come around to it? That'd be funny. No. We killed him with our dash there. I wanted to kill him with my dash because I knew I was going to get knocked up. Like, even if I Aegis that ult and everything, like, I'm still going to get knocked up and he might get away. He does have a blink, which I didn't know that, to be fair. But now that I know that, it makes that play even better because I don't want him to blink out, right? He knocks me up, walks away, blinks out kind of thing. I definitely don't want that. Okay, he blinked. He blinked. We're gonna just keep our wing shard for now, I think. I wanna buy like a full sprint or something like that that'll catch him off guard. Or maybe we just don't get anything. I mean, the wing shard by itself is pretty solid. So, but we do so much more damage. We have so much more attack speed than we did before. We have crit now. Did he not see me? Maybe he did see me. He just, you know, planned on doing that. We're kind of poking him. I think we're chilling. I could have Aegis that ult, and honestly, maybe I should have, but I do have lifesteal, I have another pot, and I have my ult coming up that I can ult in with, but... Alright, so we would ult in here, but he's actually backing himself, so... We are not going to ult in. Honestly, maybe a second relic could help me out here. I mean, I know a second relic could help me. It's just I don't really want to spend the 800 gold on sprint just yet. So yeah. Sprint's not that valuable to me unless I upgrade it. We bursted that thing pretty dang fast. Holy. Not Aegising the ult once again, Giga Chad. Oh, we didn't pick up the dual orb, but it should be fine. We should be able to get this either way. No problem. Maybe I should have lifesteal off that a little bit more, but hey, I mean, he spawns in 10, actually. We're not going to get anything more than just this Phoenix, so... And sorry I'm not explaining my build a little bit more than usual. I mean, because, like, I don't know. I really should continue to explain things for, like, newer viewers and stuff, but, like, if you've been watching the channel for a while now, you know exactly how the ADC builds, at least for me, are pretty much the same every single game. I know what I like, and I like what I like, and I build what I like, you know? I think this is just the best build, with the exception of the Silver Branch. The Silver Branch depends on what god you're playing. Normally, the Silver Branch is actually a Dominance. So yeah, in case you're wondering, the Silver Branch is replacing the Dominance, and this build because my character has an attack speed steroid, and also because I went Shoguns this game, no, like, Pestilence or something, so I have a little extra attack speed. He's holding the wave. That's got to be criminal. That's got to be a crime against humanity. I really should buy an oboe too. I just realized, like, if we're trying this hard where we're holding waves and stuff, which I don't blame him by any means. Do what you got to do to win. I'm just saying he's tryharding, right? So if we're trying this hard, I should do the same. You know, I should give him the same respect, and I should go oboe. Alright, he just used this too, so I think we go in here. He blinked out. Pretty smart. Should be able to back off here and get the red buff. And red buff, and then buy oboe, and then hopefully just front door the Titan is the goal. I mean, I'll definitely fight him if he gives me the opportunity, but... I mean, we're against a Cuckoo. I can't think of a more stereotypical, like literally a more stereotypical I'm going to camp for the rest of the game character, so... No second relic. Screw it, dude. No second relic challenge. Here's the thing: is I still don't want to buy a second relic because I don't want to. I could go like a shell to help me front door a bit, but I kind of want to leave the option open to where if I die and he gets his Phoenix up and whatnot, he pushes out of base, I can buy a full sprint. So that's basically my goal here. Fighting in small corridors against the Cuckoo is a bit tricky. Maybe I should go into lane here. Okay, that helps a ton, getting his ult down. Very nice. That is my last fire minion wave, so that's why he wants to clear it so bad. Alright, so we didn't get to do any of our front door action that we wanted to do, but what we can do is buy a 500 pot and buy a full tier sprint, a hasten sprint I mean. And hopefully bait him to this bull demon would be awesome if we could do that. He is in lane. And he's dead. And he's dead. So anyways, Jesse, why are you holding your relic for so long? Well, that's why, okay? Because people get so caught off guard by that hasten spray out of nowhere. They don't expect it, that you just run them down. It's super good. You were saying, well, why not just buy the sprint so you can have it later? Well, they'll see your sprint, and they'll see your sprint, and they'll expect you to that was actually like a full game, so I guess we'll end on that one. I actually got full build and a power potion that game, so that wasn't like a stomp. Even though it was a 15-minute game, it wasn't like a stomp. We did end up getting to late game. I mean, I guess I did kill him 6 times, huh? I mean, it was just an action-packed game. But either way, this is like the 3rd or 4th recording, and that was a full game where I would have killed the Titan right there if he had not surrendered. So I think I made my point. Also, Chris is a GM player. Granted, he is playing Kukulkan. You got to take that into consideration. Kukulkan's not the best, right? In fact, he's pretty bad. He's actually, I think he's decent against Chernobog, but here's the thing. He's not decent versus Chernobog with hastened. Like, I think he has a decent little potential to slow immune my 1 and wiggle around and be a freak. And, you know, it sucks that I can immune his ult, but I have to basically use my dash to immune like a Squall or a Zephyr or whatever that thing is called these days. And also I can dash out of the tornadoes and stuff if he puts them on him. So it's not like a perfect thing, but the Aegis, like, I think my relics is what makes this game so easy for me, honestly. I think if I didn't have relics at all, you know, a no relic challenge, I think Cuckoo could win this. But unfortunately, this is not a no relic challenge. This is a OP relic challenge. So we're doing that. We didn't get to do much with our oboe, although the oboe last isn't bad, you know, in a PvP situation. It's okay. I actually think it helped me clear the wave a little bit there at the end, which is pretty decent. But yeah, man, Chernobog is pretty freaking good. This is the build I would go on him pretty much every game, with the exception. Hold on 1 second. You don't have to go the oboe though. I'll actually show you guys a couple things you can do. It's pretty much the same build every game, but there's slight variations that can definitely help. You want to go the Pestilence second against Anubis, obviously. When you're against a physical god, you go Berserkers. When you're against a magical god, you either go Shoguns or you go Pestilence, so we'll slam that there. And so here, I'm pretty much always going to go Demon Blade here because of the Silver Branch. On other ADCs, you can go Dominance here, and it'd be, you know, and you can still go Dominance here, it'd be fine, but we don't want Dominance, so the replacement for Dominance would be, where is it? Would be Silver Branch, and Silver Branch 4th isn't bad by any means, it's just not better than Demon Blade, so I would always go Demon Blade 4th into the Silver Branch, and this is like your core build that you want to build pretty much every single game. The only thing that changes is what do you want last? Do you want an oboe to help you in the game? Do you want a Deathbringer to help you crit really hard? Do you want a Fail Not? Fail Not's pretty good on Chernobog. You can go in. In fact, if you really wanted to, because like I said in previous videos, you could just go Fail Not over Demon Blade. But the thing about that is Failnaught doesn't have a... Oh, I hover this item. Failnaught doesn't have attack speed, so, you know, it's a little bit more awkward, but it does give you cooldown, so it just depends on which you value more, attack speed or cooldown. It's really up to you. They're pretty much the same item in my opinion, although Failnaught passive is so good, man. Like, the damage reduction on Failnaught passive, don't sleep on it. But yeah, so last item, I would pretty much always just go Oboe or a crit item, and it can be any... Oh, wait, hold on. And you could even go Boomerang, honestly, for more attack speed for Oboe. Or for Silver Branch, but like, I don't know. I think the Deathbringer is probably just better, especially considering Deathbringer gives you an option to have Lifesteal, and that's really powerful. Or not Lifesteal, sorry, Anti-Heal with the glyph, the green glyph, and a little bit of anti-shields as well. But yeah, so you can even go Boomerang there, although I wouldn't recommend it too much. It's mainly just, here. Actually, let me put the correct glyph here so people know. I would mainly go these 3 items, and if you really wanted to get crazy, I guess there's the... You can just throw one of these 2 items on it. Like, oh wait, actually, hold on. I'll put all these down here real quick, and I'll explain it in just a moment. Okay, so for your last item, you could go Dominance, you could go Xe for more pin, blah, blah, blah. These are more situational, depending on what god you're against. So, like, if I'm against a double defense warrior, that makes these 3 items so much better. You could go Dominance just for more pin, Xe for more pin, or if you think the Kins, like if he has a lot of HP, you know, double defense warriors typically have a lot of HP. I'd probably go Kins. Kins would probably be my biggest recommendation out of these 3, but you could go any of them and it'd be fine. So the main thing I'm going to recommend to you guys is these first 5 items. And again, the defensive options, if you're against magicals, would be these 2, right? But yeah, these 5 items down here under the stats are what I would build pretty much every single item. The 6th one is what it really depends on the situation. And I recommend Hasten Sprint in a lot of matchups, although you don't have to do it. It really depends. Hasten Sprint's really good. And of course, Bees I recommend for pretty much any god in Duel if you need it. And if you need it or not really depends on the matchup. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy watching the video. I don't even know how long this video ended up being. I don't even remember how many takes I did, because I know, let's see. All right, so this video was 3 games, because this first one I didn't even add. You guys didn't even get to see this one. It was a 5-minute surrender, me just destroying this guy. So technically it was 4 games in a row with Chernobog. If you're wondering what happened with this loss, because how do I lose at 6 minutes? Did I F6? No, I almost never F6. Like, I have like 7,000 duel games, and I probably F6 like 2 or 3 times. This was on stream. This was the last game of my stream. And for whatever reason, my internet went down, and I got an email saying that there was a power outage in my area, or an internet outage. So yeah, long story short, my internet disconnected once. I ran into the tower, died. My internet disconnected a second time. I ran into the tower, died, and then my internet didn't come back up, and I lost 100. And that's why I wasn't cap. And yeah, that's why I have yet another loss on the leaderboard. But either way, I'm just rambling at this point. I appreciate you guys for clicking on the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Goodbye, goodbye, and goodbye.